Welcome Libra to your February 2020 reading. As I was shuffling and preparing the cards, these four presented themselves. So we have the card of the hero, 12 of fire. We have the card of emotions, very powerful energy. A lot of fire here, a lot of passion for you guys. We have the 4 of fire. And then we have the 9 of earth. So pretty powerful and stunning beginning to this reading. Before we continue, we'll look at the astrology cards next and be drawing runes. But just welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for the readings. Welcome back to those of you who are already following my readings. Guys, you are utterly awesome. Thank you so much for your likes, shares, comments, your support of me, and also your support of one another. Guys, you blow me away. You are just amazing. Anyone new to this channel, welcome. I'm Jenny Florence. I put a lot of free resources in the world, so do check out the information box. You'll find everything in there. I have a free library. There are free meditations being uploaded at the moment, sleeping meditations and meditations that remove blocks to manifestation. I give away a free private reading. I'm excited about that. We're nearly at that time of the month when I draw a subscriber name out of a hat. It's really, really lovely to connect with one of you individually. I'm just going to actually cut this pack. We'll be drawing this. We have 12th house escape, and I will cut again. 12th house escape and Aquarius, I know. Interesting energy. I'm going to place those. I think they're still in camera, are they? Yes, just about. That's awesome. Okay, fantastic. I'll move those cards out of the way. And we'll just draw a spirit animal guide card for you as well before we continue with some more tarot. And before we get into a little bit more of an interpretation, loving this. Eagle spirit and hummingbird spirit both came out, so this is what we will be reading. Eagle spirit, spirit has your back. Hummingbird spirit, be here now. There's a not a quest, that's the wrong word, that's not what I'm hearing, but it feels almost like a quest. There's quite a clear message, and I'm struggling to find the right words for it, which is interesting. I'm not generally stuck for words, but which some of you will know. I think I waffle away far too much, and I'm sure some of you will agree with that, and that's fine. But spirit has your back, and be here now. There's a humbleness here. It's like you're being invited to lean into trust, not to worry, to do for the sake of doing. There's a humility, a humbleness here. Enjoy the moment. Be present to every step of the journey. Very much connecting in with the astrology for the month. We're going to be heading in February into a Mercury retrograde. Happens to be mostly in Pisces. We have a new moon in Pisces as well on the 23rd, and Mercury will be conjunct that new moon in Pisces. So massive opportunity, guys, in this Mercury retrograde to really slow down, to immerse ourselves in the experience of living. I won't talk too much about the astrology, but guys, if you're interested in that, there is, I've done a video, an astro energy update. If you connect to the main channel homepage and just go through the most recently uploaded videos, you'll come to it, if that's something that interests you. I'm going to place those just to one side. We'll bring them back into the line of camera in a minute, but I'm just going to draw from this pack, and then we'll be drawing runes. Okay. This is presenting itself rather beautifully for us. Lovely, the world. It's that one. Okay, lovely. We have a card of victory. Awesome, guys. Changes afoot, I'm going to say. What an interesting month this is potentially proving to be. I'm going to sit these cards here, and then we need to find some space for these two. Be here now, Hummingbird Spirit. I love Hummingbird Spirit. It's a real reminder to be present, to cherish every moment, to enjoy every moment. I think what we'll actually do is place them just here. I think that is still pretty much in vision. I hope so. I might shunt those up a little bit if we can do that. We do that and still see everything. Lovely, lovely energy of this flint heart that I found or presented itself to me one day as I walked on a very beautiful beach. Let's just move those up, and I think pretty much everything should still be in view for you guys. Yes, wonderful. I'm going to connect in with the cards, and then I'm going to be drawing runes. Normally, there is no normal. Guys, if you ever work out what normal is, let me know and we'll write a book. It will be amazing. In the meantime, let's... I always normally, I'm doing it again, draw runes almost on their own. They often come first in a reading, but for these readings this month, for whatever reason, I've kind of been shifting into drawing runes that connect in. They're connecting up the cards and sitting with specific cards. So we'll be doing that in just a moment as we read. First of all, the hero, guys. This is a card of integrity. He's a protector. But there's a very lovely ordinariness about this person. It's a very masculine energy, actually. But it's a card that connects into, if you're into sort of shamanic perspectives, it's a card that connects to the West, to the bear. There's something very steady. Even though this is a card of fire, it's kind of like you are invited to be your own hero or heroine. It may even be that somebody comes into your world who is really able to offer you something. They have that kind of nature about them. They're a giver. They give for the sake of giving. There's a humbleness. Again, there's a lovely humbleness in the energy of this reading. Excuse me. Now, the invitation is to really immerse yourself in the ordinariness and the extraordinariness of everyday life. Treasure every moment. Something is coming to a completion. There is completion's new beginnings. Now we're going to draw a rune now, just to see what this is about. We have the rune of strength, yes. Termination's new beginnings. At times of what I would call accelerated change and growth, when we're in this transitionary period, so I'm hearing a very clear message now, when we're in a transitionary period and we've invested a lot, we're working hard at something, but we haven't yet got to the space where the outcome is actually manifesting in real terms. Guys, sometimes we can have a wobble or we can worry. You are being invited just to remain really grounded. Do things for the sake of doing them rather than for the sake of the outcome. Terminations, new beginnings. Everything is shifting as it should. I feel as though I'm really wanting to almost reassure you, which is quite interesting. There's definitely an energy of reassurance. 12th house, escape. Aquarius, I know. This is the same energy as Hummingbird Spirit, be here now, Spirit has your back. Again, lean into a place of trust. That's what you're being called to do here. To trust that the shifting and the turning is going to produce. We have a card of victory here. You will get the recognition as well, actually, I think. Whatever you've been investing in, it's going to come to fruition. That's, we're talking about more the end of the month than the beginning. I think in the beginning of February, you guys, it could feel as though, I think maybe you have a bit of a wobble. The card of emotions just acknowledges the fact that every emotion we have is absolutely essential and vital to us. The Nine of Wands, you can see the shore in sight. Okay, let me just pick up this card so you can see it. It's like you can see where you want to go. You can see the flaming wands on the shore guiding you in, and yet you still feel as though you are in turbulent waters. It's like you're not through this sort of last stage of something quite as yet. You've been entering or you've been travelling through one almighty phase of transition. 2019, do you know, for every Libra I know, 2019 was this epic year of transition where it felt as though it was, I almost want to say hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. Excuse me. But it was all leading you into a space of finding a direction. You've really turned a corner, I think, really most of you guys. But it's like you've needed to, from a space where you've been at quite a low ebb, you've needed to then kind of pick up and invest in a new future, a new direction, a new clarity within yourself. Also, new clarity that has been quite nicely boundaried. You've needed to work a lot with boundaries. This is really a month where I think you are asked to kind of to remain in a space of possibility. I want to say dwell in possibility. Really clear message coming through. Dwell in possibility. Allow yourself to receive. Continue to invest. There's so much here asking about trust. It's like the way will become clear to you. It's really interesting. Mercury goes into retrograde. It goes into the we move into the retrograde shadow just after the full moon in Leo. So the full moon in Leo, full moons raise emotions, and the full moon in Leo is an interesting time when we can really look at whether our needs are being driven by sort of our ego or our fears, our concerns, our anxieties, or whether our desires and our needs are driven by a kind of a higher vision, our calling. And we get muddled because, well, just because we're human. It's what we do. And then, but really there's some sense of there being a little bit of confusion at the beginning of the month, or things not feeling as though they're quite gaining the traction that you want them to gain. But that's fine if we check in with the law of attraction. We have to sort of hold fast to the vision, continue living our ordinary everyday lives in the most outstanding way that we possibly can. That's the pathway of the spiritual warrior. And at the same time, as I said, we hold the vision, but we kind of let go of it simultaneously. We invest and immerse ourselves in the living every day as it comes, dealing with the everydayness of ordinary life in the most extraordinary way that we can. This is the immersing yourself. You're even asked to actually just treasure every moment and enjoy. Don't succumb to the highs and lows of emotions when things don't appear to be quite gaining traction. They're going to. That's really what I'm wanting to voice. I think that they are going to gain traction. It's just there's this little phase. And Aquarius, I know, here I am waffling away. Aquarius, I know, as Mercury is in retrograde for the latter part. I mean, we get into the shadow just after the full moon. Good time to release emotions. Quite a lot of emotionality around that time. That's the 9th of February. We then move into the shadow, and then Mercury moves into retrograde in Pisces. And then actually, as the Mercury retrograde, for the last sort of week of the retrograde, Mercury moves into Aquarius. We have a wonderful opportunity during the Piscean bit to really be in touch with the divine, to channel information. But we have to slow down enough to be able to receive it, to get that guidance. And then the Aquarius part, we start to integrate that into our awareness. So it's a month when I think the universal energy is really speaking to us and asking us to slow down. And to allowing, it's like practice the art of allowing whilst simultaneously doing in a way that is about being extraordinary in an ordinary way. Yes, we have the rune of constraint. Now, this rune, again, is suggesting that, I mean, you could feel a little bit frustrated. You could feel this month, particularly at the beginning and maybe around the build up to the full moon, that, yeah, that you could get a bit frustrated or a little bit wobbly. Things aren't moving. You've got your vision in sight. And I think for some of you, it might even kind of, it's like a little bit of a testing. You're going to be wondering, did I make the right decision? Am I on the right path? Because it's that sort of fundamental belief that if we're on the right path, then the universe will deliver. And then if something doesn't run smoothly, we think, well, maybe we're on the wrong path. Now, this reading is actually challenging that in a very particular way. It's actually saying, it's actually suggesting that you are on the right path. The investment you're making is the right one. What it's also saying is the energy is actually, as we travel through February, the energy is much more about being open to receive greater awareness in order to then be able to take deliberate action with focused energy to establish. I mean, this card asks us to establish a creative process. I think there's a massive download of possibility coming in, really, and it's almost as though you're going to question. There'll be some questions. You're going to worry that you're not gaining the traction. You're going to. The Knight of Pentacles. This is a lovely energy sitting under the Four of Fire. We have deliberate action, concentration, focused energy with the promise of a really earthy kind of grounded phase where things take place. Again, there is a humbleness to this card. The Knight of Pentacles is somebody who, you know, the energy of this card and the story behind it, you know, he was a beekeeper. You know, in myth and legend, and he went about saving bees. You know, he was a very earthy, grounded individual. His feet were on the ground. He was of really good heart. You are being asked again, just steady yourselves at this process of transition. This is a month where you guys almost secure your direction. That's what I'm really hearing. Let's draw a rune for that. Yes, you do secure your direction. We have the rune of openings, loving that energy. The rune of openings is all about out of darkness, into light, renewed clarity. I love the arrow that it shows you. For me, this is a rune that always speaks of finding direction and moving forwards and of gaining traction. So I think the traction is coming, interestingly enough, even though as we move through the month, Mercury will be in retrograde. I think you guys are going to gain traction. It's just the first part of the month is almost, I think the downloads of illumination, the things not happening as quickly as maybe as you'd like them to, could give you a bit of a wobble. You know, don't let that concern you. The energy here appears to be moving very much forwards. It's not immediate. So, and I'm also hearing some of you are a little bit tired. Yeah, again, you've had to really work to get to where you guys are. So, loving the energy here of the Nine of Earth. Generosity, benevolence. Again, there's a humility. It's a card that speaks of giving. Without the expectation of receiving. Though again, actually, I'm kind of hearing a message. I think some of you may well receive. I think something might actually come your way. It's to do with energetically aligning yourself in a position where you are chilled out enough to receive. I think something is potentially coming your way. Six of Wands, it's a card, this is a card of validation, of victory, of acknowledgement. So the people around you, in a way, sometimes this is a public kind of acknowledgement or a public validation. If you've taken an exam, it means you pass. There's recognition. It means other people see you for the work that you've put into something. Definitely something coming your way towards the end of the month. We'll draw another card for that as well, actually, I'm hearing. Let's just check in on the runes. Now, this is very, very interesting. We have two runes that have come out. Now, we have the rune of the blank rune. this is a rune of infinite possibilities, and we have the rune of the self. Now, I'm going to place the rune of the self here because there's something about you yourself get validated here. There is a real acknowledgement. Something comes to you. It's literally given to you. Wonderful energy. We have the blank rune. There's a lot of possibility being offered here, but you are being asked to be very open to receive. Sit in that space of trust. Eagle spirit, spirit has your back. And hummingbird spirit, be here now. I'm really being asked to place the rune here in this central position. So guys, a pretty powerful month for you guys. It may seem as though things aren't moving forwards, but trust me, as we move to the end of the month, I think things are coming your way. You need to be in a space where energetically you're able to receive. Okay, this is magical. So we have 2 cards from the Art of Manifestation cards. We have Say Yes, and we have New Love. I'm just checking in. I think they come round this way round, actually. First of all, new love. The energy of new love is around you. Sometimes if we have been hurt within relationship, we retreat, afraid of being hurt again. This card brings a clear message and is an indication of your readiness to embrace love and to begin a new relationship. It is safe to reach out. We then have the card of yes. Say yes. What are you waiting for? The answer to your question is yes. Guys, things are coming your way. There will be a clarity. There's a shift in the energy this month for you. It's just that Libra Rising, Moon in Libra. It's like the beginning, I think, of February feels as though, I think it feels a little bit sticky, a little bit the constraints. It's like there's an element of impatience or a feeling it's not emerging. Again, just immerse yourself in the everydayness of, the being and the doing. Treasure every moment, whether if you're hanging the washing on the line, not that you will be if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, or certainly around here, it's too cold and wet, but wherever you are, you get what I mean. It's the everyday stuff. Just do the everyday stuff in an impeccable way and allow yourself to be open and available to receive. Don't wobble. Don't get too frustrated. The land is in sight. The end is in sight. There is a new direction. I say a new direction, it's not new. I'm hearing it isn't new. It's clarity. You do get the traction that you're needing. You really, really do. And I would suggest that, for some of you guys, new love is definitely on the cards. Can sometimes mean a new phase in relationship. But one way or the other, this whole reading in every aspect of your life is about being open to receive. And for those of you who are seeking love, I would say the energy is very much with you. And as I said, validation, acknowledgement of whatever it is that you have been striving or working for. You come through this. Clarity of direction. Really, really lovely energy, Libra. So much love to you. I've really enjoyed this reading. It's stunning. Absolutely stunning energy. It's both tingling, exciting, and yet kind of chilled at the same time. So, guys, for those of you that have been following the progress of the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards, I'd hope they'd be birthed into the world in January. There have been some delays and hold-ups. I think one has to trust. We all have to, I have to walk my talk and trust that if there's a delay, there's purpose. And curiously enough, it's led me down a direction of the book and the packaging being now coming from a different source than we'd originally intended. But they are all coming from small dedicated teams whose source materials that are either recycled or coming from sustainable sources. So it's been a magical journey. I will keep you posted. There is now an email list if you are interested in these cards. A lot of people have been emailing me personally about them. You can put yourself on that list if you want to have the heads up as they emerge. There will be a first limited edition print run, and if you're on the list, you'll not only have first refusal, but you'll have the opportunity, as I said, to reserve a pack for yourself and also to pre-order at a discounted rate. So guys, so much love to you. Namaste. Have an amazing February. Chill, allow, receive. Awesome.